Hello everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review, episode 450.
Yep.
We've been doing this for 450 consecutive weeks.
Halfway point to 500 episodes. That's insane.
That's it. Nuts. 450 consecutive weeks. That's a lot of years worth of weeks.
Not 1 week that we missed.
That's right. And in 2 weeks we'll be 1 year away from our 500. Halfway to 1,000. Will this review show make it to 1,000 and beyond? Only time will tell. Now, unfortunately, this is in video format this week. And for those of you that have been following me on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord, you already know the reason. For those of you that aren't, we got some bad news regarding our father in the medical form. And we got it on Monday. And ever since then, things have been kind of upside down. There's a lot of testing that has to go on. So unfortunately, this week in particular, because it started this week, everything just kind of fell all at once. Things kind of got a little bit too hectic, so the house is kind of upside down, so we had to wait to find the perfect time to record. Unfortunately, we're recording this really late. We're recording this on Thursday. Hopefully it'll be up by Thursday night. It'll more than likely be up by Thursday night. But things are crazy. We're hoping that by next week, everything will be back to normal. Also, I want to thank everybody who sent well wishes, prayers, everything, personal messages. Thank you all so much. It means the world to me, to Mike, to our family, to everybody, to our father. Thank you all so much for the well wishes. Now, usually, see, I miss it because now that we're back in the video format, Mike and I have been doing the reviews via live show for a while now, and we love the interaction, so it's kind of weird not having that interaction.
That is weird.
I don't like it. I actually do enjoy talking with people while we're doing the review, regardless how many or how few, and we miss that. We're hoping that by next week we'll be able to get back to that. However, for right now, though, we're doing it as video. Hopefully next week things will be getting back to normal or as normal as it can be. Now, before we get into the review, normally this is the pre-show part, but I do want to make mention of a few things. I don't want to do it at the end, just to be safe, since all of you are here now. It's a minor update or footnote to the update we had, or I made, on Dark Avenger not too long ago. Now, you remember the index cards and what I told you guys were coming. All of that is still coming. However, I have to make this suggestion that go check out Brooklyn Boys 13. That's my
Boys with a Z.
With a Z. It's on the channel. It's on my channel on the recommended channels. Or it's Brooklyn Boys 13, like Mike said, with a Z. The reason I say that is because we actually started uploading videos on Brooklyn Boys.
And our first vlog.
Yes. So, and Mike just said the magic word, vlogs. Some of the things that I was working on doing for this channel, while, for example, vlogs are going to be on Brooklyn Boys. Instead of doing vlogs like what we did on Brooklyn Boys, on here I'm going to be doing Outside the Pages, and that's going to be more along the lines of behind the scenes of my writing and stuff, connected to 529 and writing Celestial and any other comic I'm doing. So that's sticking around, but unboxings, for example, certain other videos that I was planning to do here, we might actually move over to Brooklyn Boys 13. Not too many series. I think mainly those two things, vlogs, unboxings, will be over on Brooklyn Boys, but you never know. Again, anything I said that was for Frontline, most of that will be for Frontline. All the videos that we promised, or all the videos that I mentioned we were going to be doing, we are going to be doing. It's just a matter of what channel. So I know most of you are already subscribed to Comic Frontline. Obviously, you all are subscribed, I hope. If you're new here, hopefully you do click that sub button. Most of you subscribed here. A few of you are subscribed to Brooklyn Boys 13. I definitely implore you guys to subscribe to Brooklyn Boys 13. Mike and I have a lot of really cool things. We're going to be doing an update video. It's going to be a new version of the channel. Basically a Brooklyn Boys 2.0, so to speak. Things are going to be changing, but for the better. And we're going to have a lot of fun on Brooklyn Boys while keeping the core of Brooklyn Boys as always. We're not changing the channel. Obviously, we've been away for so long that now we're kind of just freshening it up and modernizing it since we've been gone for quite a number of years on there. So look forward to that. Hopefully you'll go subscribe to Brooklyn Boys 13. I think I'm going to actually put the link in my description from now on as a set link. So you can just click the link right below in the description. It'll be there. And that's it for the pre-show. It's weird because there's nobody to interact with, so there's really no back and forth that we can do. But definitely go check out the vlog. Feel free to leave a comment. So we're going to get into this week's review. And Michael, for the 450th episode, how many books do we have?
We have 17 books. We have 2 physicals and the rest digital. However, there's one book that won't be on the show that will be in next week's review. The Batman Prelude of Red Hood
Versus Anarchy.
Versus Anarchy. I did not get a chance to read that because I didn't see it. But however, though, I do acknowledge that it's on my tablet, and I will put that for next week's episode, so that will be missing. So with 17 books, these books were released on June 20th, 2018.
Which means there's 2 more weeks of June, which means the first week of July will be the 500th episode, possibly.
Yeah, look at that.
Unless it's leap year. Is it leap year next year?
I think it is. Why are we getting into that? Let's just get into
I'm not going to do it. Now, I honestly did have this digitally, but I love this variant, so I have to show it. I have to. And this is actually going to be one of the books I put down here. And that is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 28. I love it. Jason admiring his previous, like his legacy Mighty Morphin while he's the Gold Ranger. Right, but he's the Gold Ranger.
I know, yeah.
And it's cool because it kind of pays homage to Zeo and Mighty Morphin. And if I could find Austin St. John and have him sign this, like right there, that would be awesome.
That would be.
I would love to. If there's ever a convention he's at, I have to take this book, and I would love for him to sign it.
New York Comic Con.
That and I also would like Higgins' signature as well. I mean, I would like the writer who's doing Shattered Grid. But anyway, in this book. You got Kimberly, and I forgot the other Pink Ranger, and they're looking to save the surviving Rangers from all the different parts of the grid. Zach is in Lord Draken's world, and he's teaming up with his Dark World self, is the Lord Draken Zach, and Skull, and they're gonna go save Ninjor. And then you got Jason, who's trying to save the Doctor and find a way to combat Lord Draken. So all of this happens. Jason ends up getting something from the Doctor that actually allows them not to get hurt by whatever Lord Draken's using to sap the powers from the Rangers. And at the same time, Zach ends up in a very compromised position, and they end up saving Ninjor, but at the cost of Skull and Zach. Skull from the Dark Universe and Zach from the Mighty Morphin team. And I like how in the beginning with Kimberly, she's trying to come up with a reason for Tommy to come back. And I love how the other Rangers, like, even if he did come back, he wouldn't be the same like he was before he was killed. And I like that. I like the ending where Ninjor says, you know what? Draken isn't trying to steal all the He's not trying to become Lord of all the Rangers. He's stealing all their morphers because he wants to get into the grid, into the morphing grid. Why does he want to get into the morphing grid? But anyway, really cool stuff. Actually, we did previews a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, I'm sorry, and it looks, I think it's ending in August.
Really? Oh, wow.
So I'm looking forward to the finale, and actually when Shattered Grid finishes, that will be the end of us getting this book physically. You'll be seeing this on the monthly haul still. We will probably be moving Power Rangers back to a digital format. We're moving a lot of our books to a digital format just for space reasons, more than anything else. We are running out of space fast, especially because we're reading a lot of books. So for space reasons, more than anything else, we got to start. We're making a lot of cuts. It's starting actually, ironically, in August, and it's going to continue on into September. TMNT Universe issue 23. As a matter of fact, in August, IDW is releasing a weekly second volume of Bebop and Rocksteady. I did not pre-order it from DCBS. I don't know if I'm going to get it from Midtown, because like I said, we are still buying books weekly through Midtown. I'm not sure. I actually just remembered I have to do Midtown this week. See, things are crazy. I'll do that after the show. I'm not sure. I might wait and read the first issue first. it's Bebop and Rocksteady, and the last Bebop and Rocksteady did not do too well. I didn't like it.
Read.
Exactly. Why would I want to invest in 5 weekly issues? I don't. So we'll see where it goes, and we'll just see where it goes. TMNT Universe, though, Mondo wants to help. Oh wow, this is definitely one of those weeks, everybody. Seymour, because he's dying, and the only place that has the technology in order to save him is Bishop. So Mondo goes to the Turtles for help. Doesn't find the Turtles though. Finds Mikey, because the others are out doing something, and Mikey offers to help him. And well, actually, he went to the Turtles to find out information about where Bishop is, or where he can find somebody to get into. What is their corporation called? Well, anyway, he breaks in, and Mikey goes with him because he's worried because Mondo's kind of like not in sound mind. And as they're going through this place, you can see that he kind of Mondo has a problem. Let's just leave it at that. And it gets him in trouble by the end of this issue, and him and Mikey are kind of stuck. And instead of running like what Mikey suggests, they go headlong into danger. To be continued. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with TMNT Universe. At least we got the Turtles still in it. That's the important thing. I don't like when TMNT Universe goes off, except the Karai story. That was good. And that's that. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next issue. And I thought I'd be dropping or moving TMNT Universe to a digital, but we'll see. I didn't like the art. Oh, I did not like the art. I definitely did not like the art in TMNT Universe. That was one of the major downfalls. We'll see where TMNT Universe and me are. I'll definitely finish out this year, and we'll see starting in January if I keep it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends, issue number 2. Trying to find out what happened to Donatello and where Splinter is, because he was held captive by Pamiko, who is the Pink Ninja, basically. So the Turtles are trying to find out, where her secret hideout is. I like how they gave Raphael Casey Jones's hockey mask, like the one right here, because his face was burned in the last issue. Artwork was pretty okay. And with that, there's so much that's happening. Like they experimented on Mr. Weasel, who actually had a really bad ending. But Leonardo does his meditating to get in contact, which he does with Donnie, to see what more information he can find. But as he's meditating, Pamiko's clan actually comes in to attack the Turtles, and it's only 2 on all of them, because Leonardo's in his state and Donatello is pretty much...
Is Donatello still dead?
I think he is still dead, because when Leonardo meditated, we saw his spirited form, Donatello.
Okay.
So it could be that, but he's trying to look for Splinter because of what happened in the last issue when he actually talked to him. For that sense. Alright, from Valiant, we got Shadowman, issue number 4. And this comic book of Shadowman, it only, just to sum this up, it only talked about Shadowman's great-grandfather, and I'm trying to remember what his name was, who actually was the first Shadowman. And, it talks about, like, his backstory, about how he became Shadowman, Maxim Boniface, which is the great-grandfather. And I really like his backstory. Like, he was into jazz and stuff like that. And there was also this thing that they were trying to take out of the city before it blows up and stuff like that. But it was really action-packed. I was really interested in Maxim's story. But in the next one, it's Durok's beginning. So I think it's going to go to the next Shadowman. So I think they're going down the line of the Shadowmans before we get back to our story, which is actually pretty interesting. As I drop my pen to read about that.
So happy Buffy's back with season 12. This is a mini though. I don't know how many issues, but season 12, issue number 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer: The Reckoning. So somebody in the future who knows Buffy's future is using that knowledge and going into the past to basically destroy Buffy once and for all. And this pays reference to a arc, I don't know, where Buffy went into the future, this future, and a lot of stuff happened in it. But anyway, it's Angel who comes with the bad news, and it's during, I believe, Dawn and Xander's. Is it the baby shower? I don't know, but it's about a year later, so they have a baby.
Right.
And Spike and Buffy have officially broken up. However, Angel is now with that girl who's... This is
Dawn?
very bad. No. Fred. I forgot her alter ego's name.
Oh, I don't. I can't remember either.
He's with Fred, though. I remember the girl's name, who's possessed. And it kind of connects a little bit to what happened in the previous Angel arc, and we don't know why Buffy and Spike broke up, but it was mutual, it was yada yada. Anyway, so they weapon up, they go into battle, they get their butts handed to them, they come back, and now they have to go into the future to find somebody to help them. And the funny thing is, the guy who's seen it all says this is exactly how it's supposed to happen. And now things are going to get interesting. It's like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? To be continued. I enjoyed this. I'm glad Buffy's back. Art's great. I'm interested to know what happened. Excuse me, what happened between Buffy and Spike, and Angels with Fred, which is interesting, and now awkward. And I don't know. It's gonna be fun to see where this goes. I love Buffy. I definitely recommend it.
All right. And we got WWE issue number 18, the story of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I could talk. Before they got into the WWE Universe, or in wrestling, so to speak. So it starts off in their backstory before they go into wrestling about how they were interested in wrestling, and then we have Kevin Owens who backstabbed Sami Zayn for Aiden English to be the winner. So Sami Zayn's like not happy about it. He goes to Daniel Bryan saying, you know, like this is so uncalled for and everything. And it goes really back and forth with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's story about, you know, when Kevin Owens got married, he was his best man, and then the NXT backstab when Kevin Owens powerbombed him. For those of you who watch wrestling, you would know basically the story of that. And it's just Kevin Owens like trying to tell Sami Zayn, you know, I'm in Hell in a Cell and I got everything more than you, and you just got nothing really. And then Sami Zayn's like, you know,
the artist
whatever.
got really good.
The artist did, yeah. And then we go to the match where Kevin Owens fought Shane McMahon at Hell in a Cell. And this is where Sami Zayn actually came in to help Kevin Owens win. Because he's like saying, you know, he wanted to join the darker side. And he doesn't really like that very much. So that's to be continued for that. And then it just talks about Rusev Day for the second story, which actually was pretty cool about how Rusev Day became to be. So, you know. I really like that story. At least it wasn't the same thing with Asuka or something. Because that's what we've been getting. But, I mean, no offense, I like Asuka. She's a great wrestler. But it's something new, you know? But definitely some, for those of you WWE fans, you'll be reading this comic book.
Alright, now these two are going to be super quick. Ant-Man Wasp issue 2. I'm not feeling it. Again, Ant-Man isn't really a book that I'm interested in. So I read through it. It was interesting, you know. Ant-Man's trying to fix Wasp's eyes because they were red at the end of the last issue. She ends up getting captured. He ends up trapped inside of her suit that was taken off of her and in like a cell now. Not really my thing. Not really my thing. So I'm passing it on to other people who are fans of Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm not a fan of Ant-Man.
Didn't the movie recently come out?
It is recently. It is coming out soon.
Oh, it's coming out soon. Oh, I thought it was already out.
No. And then another book that I kind of lost interest. I didn't finish reading it. Doctor Strange, issue number 2. I love the art. I will say I skimmed through the rest of the book to look at the art, but the story just... I have to agree with Jay. Doctor Strange does not belong in space.
Oh, no, not another space story.
Well, he's in space. He's trying to get his power back through some means in space.
Don't you think we had enough of space stories from Marvel?
Don't we wish? But it's just... it didn't hold me enough, the story, so that's 2 books off the list. Hunt for Wolverine, Claws of a Killer, issue number 2. Dawkins is captured by the corporation that apparently made these zombies. Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth are fighting through the zombies, and now Sabretooth is not healing. They have a feeling that this is somehow connected to Wolverine. Dawkins escapes, beats up the soldiers, and says, "Tell Logan we're coming for him." And then you have Lady Deathstrike and Sabretooth kind of stuck with the zombies all around the garage. It was an interesting story, I will say that, but this is my lowest of the 4 Hunt for Wolverines. WeaponH, issue number 4. I don't know why I don't put Damage right next to WeaponH, because I feel like it's weird because there's no way DC and Marvel can kind of copy off of their stories because they're written at approximately the same time. But anyway, he's fighting Man-Thing, and Swamp Thing shows up in Damage. We'll get to that. And his wife finds him, and we also find out that the person from Roxxon is looking for him and finds out that he has a family. And when he sees WeaponH, he's like, "Look, I know you have a family. We know what group you were in. We're going to cross-reference, and we're going to figure out who you are, and then we'll just use your family as a means to control you." And because he has his wife there, he beats Man-Thing. There are thunder and lightning storms today. I might close the window, so I might. But anyway, he beats Man-Thing, but he ends up getting captured. And now he's basically a prisoner of Roxxon because he doesn't want his wife to be captured, and he doesn't want them to find out what his family is either. So, to be continued there. WeaponH, good book. The Avengers issue number 3, we find out the twist that Avengers BC might have been the bad guys, and that the Dark Celestials were actually coming to Earth not to conquer it, not to fight it, but looking for help. And as the Avengers are fighting against them, it's like Loki's kind of playing devil's advocate. Captain America stops them, sends the Celestials and Loki and his son Loki and himself. But Loki saves him and tries to explain to Cap that these Celestials are, they came for help. And we find out that there's a problem in the North Pole, deep under the North Pole, that either the world will end or the world will continue forward. But anyway, we also get to see the Bugs, and we get to see Hulk teaming up with Ghost Rider for a bit, with Doctor Strange and Black Panther in tow. Thor finds out about what's going on, and he goes to Odin with She-Hulk. And I love how he tells her, "No smash unless I say. I'll give the signal." And he wants information on the Celestials because his father was part of the Avengers BC. It's gonna be the next cover says it all. It's gonna be very interesting. Amazing Spider-Man 801. All I'm gonna say is it was a perfect goodbye for Dan Slott. I feel it was a nice story. It had nothing to do with anything. It harkened all the way back to Spider-Man, way back in Amazing Fantasy, like connected to that story, and it goes all the way to current day with this guy that was saved by Spider-Man during events that was in Amazing Fantasy, and artwork was good. I feel like Dan Slott gave a good final issue, and then he's going to give a good first issue when we get to it. But it was a good final issue. Now I'm looking forward to Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man and what's to come there. Ironically, his first issue, Tony Stark, Iron Man, issue number 1.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I didn't even think about that when I listed the books. That's funny. Well, actually, this is the last Marvel book, correct?
I think so. Let me check. Yes, because I'm going to the next
Last Marvel book. So, a final issue and a first issue. I enjoyed it. Tony Stark is putting together a team. So instead of the quote, "I'm Iron Man," it's more of a "We are Iron Man," bing, bang, boom, under some type of...
Don't tell me he's using the "we" as a symbiote-like thing.
No.
Okay.
I'm explaining. So he's bringing this guy on to work with him in Stark Tech. And what happens is Fin Fang Foom attacks, and we get to see a mech Iron Man fighting Fin Fang Foom, and there's some really great writing. Tony's personality is so spot on here. It was really good. And what happens is we find out that Fin Fang Foom was actually under control from someone, and someone was using Fin Fang Foom as a distraction so that they could break into Stark Tech's computers. Who is this foe? Why are they doing this? We don't know yet. But there's a big press conference in the end, and there's this huge team of people, including Rhodey, who are now going to be like the We Are Iron Man. I guess we're just going to continue from there. I like the guy. I mean, the guy that he brought on was somebody that he beat when he was a kid. And I like how there's a robot in the book that's his superior, and he's like, I can live with that. There was a Hobbit reference in there that was hilarious. There's a lot of good stuff in the first issue. Definitely something to check out. My opinion, you do not have to agree with me, but I thought it was really good. Speak of the Damage. Damage, issue number 6. Damage convinces Poison Ivy. Well, Poison Ivy kind of realizes that she's being controlled, and in the end, she turns on Gorilla Grodd, and she kind of what's the word I'm looking for? She thanks Ethan for his help, but she ends up letting him fall asleep, and she ends up leaving. But Swamp Thing's in the book because Poison Ivy built this forest, and it's not natural. But she also reached out to Swamp Thing, so Swamp Thing knows about Damage, knows about Ethan, and wants to help him, and actually has a group of friends that want to help him. People that he's helped that, you know, will help get him to where he needs to go. And what Swamp Thing requests, though, is for him to destroy the forest. He goes into damage mode, starts to destroy the forest, and then we see him on a boat. His destination is Washington, D.C., and it turns out that the corporation that's chasing after him, just like in WeaponH, where he got caught, the corporation's on the same boat that he's on. They're right behind him. Literally, Damage and WeaponH are going side by side. First of all, out on the same week. Second of all, the stories. Man-Thing, Swamp Thing, WeaponH caught. Granted, Ethan, Damage wasn't caught yet, but at the same time, they're right there, and they're going to catch him, possibly. You'd swear that one group was copying, like if they were in a classroom, one was peeking over and taking notes from the other one's test. It's that insane how alike it is. But I digress. I like both. I know I think Brant was saying Damage was done better than is the way WeaponH should have been made, if I'm not mistaken, or vice versa. Some people like WeaponH more than Damage. I'm right in the middle right now. They're so alike that it's like if I say I like Damage more, I mean I could easily say the same thing almost is happening with WeaponH. I'm waiting for there to be a divide where one story goes one way and one goes the other. I mean, there are a lot of connecting factors right now. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see WeaponH going too long anyway. I see WeaponH kind of trickling off soonish. Damage will be around for a while. We'll have to wait and see. Batman issue 49, Catwoman versus Joker. I gotta say, last time around I said Joker was kind of creepy. This issue was really cool because Catwoman slashes Joker's neck. Joker shoots Catwoman. Joker has his hand over his throat so he doesn't die. Catwoman has her hand over her wound so she doesn't bleed out and die. And the back and forth was so good. Joker was like, you were one of us. We were all laughing when we were fighting Batman. You never laughed at anything. You were never laughing when the Bat suffered. She's like, because I knew we were losing. I laugh when I win. And I'm pointing this out for a reason. And the back and forth was awesome. And now I question, is Joker really insane, or is he pretending to be insane? Is he in love with Batman in a way that's kind of twisted, but again, not crazy, just pretending to be crazy? Because he tells Selena...
He's been crazy since day one. What are you talking about?
Well, he tells Selena, we need Batman on the roofs. We need him to not be happy. If Batman's happy, he's not going to be Batman anymore, or he won't be the same Batman, and I can't let that happen. That's why he wants to kill Catwoman, because she's going to make him happy. And I just want to make sure something... You saw it unclicked.
Yeah.
That was... Oh, I see why it unclicked. Thanks.
There we go.
And that makes I think it puts stuff in Catwoman's head. I'm really interested to see where, because I mean we already got one twist when it comes to X-Men Gold with the Kitty Pryde and Colossus wedding. I'm interested to see what the twist will be with Batman's wedding. Hopefully there won't be a twist, because a lot of people want to see them married. I'm one of them. Justice League issue number 2. Batman reaching out to Jon Stewart to join the Justice League team. That they really need his expertise. And it's apparently been a week since the being crashed on Earth, and nobody can get through to it except Superman and maybe Jean, because they're alien. And inside of Superman you've got like atom-sized Batman floating around. You got atom-sized Hawkgirl floating around Jean Jones. And then Lex Luthor, who's putting the Legion of Doom together, we find out that he's microscopic size, and he's inside Superman as well, because he wants to get to what's on the inside of this celestial head, I guess you could say. Very interesting, and I'm intrigued to see where this goes. And then, of course, Sinestro finds the invisible spectrum and indoctrinates Jon Stewart as his first recruit. And he's part of, I believe it's the Violet, but he's being mind controlled by it. So this again connects to metal, and apparently a new spectrum of light is being reached out. I hope we get new rings. I mean, I sure could use some more plastic rings, because I've already got the full set over there.
Yep.
Why not? And then finally, Man of Steel issue number 4, Jor-El. It was Jor-El that came to Lois, Clark, and John and wanted to take John. For what reason, we don't know yet. But he wanted to take John with him. I believe he said he was in danger, and he wanted to train him, or teach him. Kind of like what he did with Clark. Which is interesting. Because John wants to go. Clark and Lois are like, no, and John's like, you don't have a choice. And it's kind of weird to see John rebel so hard against his parents about it. He's like, he's my grandpa, you know, I trust him, you should trust him. It's weird. It's weird, and obviously he goes, and obviously Lois, I think, is somewhere, and we'll find out, I guess, in the last issue. We're not even close to the last issue, I believe. I think we have still 2 more issues to go. Most of the rest of this issue is the fight between the bad guy, whatever his name is, I keep forgetting it, and Superman and Supergirl. We find out that after Superman was stabbed, somehow the guy disappeared, and Green Lantern ended up saving Superman. What happened after that? I want to make sure. Oh, he ends up going to the fortress, because this is where he figured the being would be, and he was. And we get to see, and I'm nervous to read issue number 5. I think Superman goes supernova at the end of...
Oh, no. I remember that.
Will he lose his powers?
Not again. They can't do that again.
But you know what? They did say they retconned that, so maybe that's just another power, and he doesn't lose his powers completely. I'm hoping. I don't know. I did not read Superman.
No, they can't do that again. They already did that. That would not make sense if they did it again.
I did not read Superman 5 yet. I don't know. But we have 2 more issues to go. Yes, I'm super nervous. With that, that's it for this review, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. Again, 34 minutes. I was pretty close with what I figured this episode would be. Thank you all for bearing with us with what's going on. I really feel bad for the 450th episode that this is the only, hopefully, only time that we actually had to do it as a video format. But you guys got really great quality and audio. Unfortunately, no back and forth, no live show, and
but however, though, it's actually one thing they could do. It's their turn to put what their favorite comic book was in the comment section, so they could talk with us still in the comment section what your favorite books were from what we reviewed or what you read that week of the 20th.
Let us know. Like, dislike, agree, disagree. Oh God. Recommendations. We'd love to hear from you guys. And this week especially, comments are the most important because we had no live show comments whatsoever. So hopefully we'll hear from you guys in the comments. Thank you all so much for being here once again. As always, links in the description below for everything. There is the 2 Discords, Dysfunctional Gaming, Awesome Gaming Discord, Comic Frontline. Obviously, that's where the Dark Avenger Nation is. That's where all comic books. There's a little bit of everything for everybody on Comic Frontline's Discord. 2 wonderful communities. Check them out. Also, there's a link for the donate. Not a requirement. Anything that's donated helps the channel, and I want to thank everybody who has done donations. Frost, Nerdivision has made donations, and Roll from Bitter Old Goons Gaming. Thank everybody who has already. There's another anonymous donation that was given, and I was asked not to mention it, so I won't. But I want to thank that anonymous person. You know who you are. Thank you all. Again, donations are not a requirement. It just helps us get to where we want to get quicker. Even without it, we'll get there just at our pace. A little bit of a slower pace. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, keep your fingers crossed that next week will be better. And we will see you guys in the next Dark Avenger comic book review.
Yep. Hey, everybody.